Good morning, real estate professionals. I'm going to share with you a really important concept that is so often misleading to real estate agents and consumers alike in the real estate industry. And the term that they use is housing inventory. And always it's misused in my experience, knowing basic business. So let's take a look at what inventory is and how it affects our market as realtors. First, the concept of inventory turnover in any business. To be successful, you have to turn over your inventory. So if you're selling cans of tuna fish, for example, and you have a store and that's all you have, you're going to measure how many times you can replenish your supply. You only have so many shelves, and the shelves only hold so many cans. Imagine 100. And so if you turn over your inventory, you sell 100 cans a month, that turnover is one per month, or 12 per year, or it could be 1 quarter per week. So the turnover obviously affects your profits because the more money you spend holding cans of tuna fish or inventory, you'll get paid for that. Inventory is an expense to any business. You have to have a place to put it, you have to maintain it. And so businesses want to turn over, and one of the revolutions of the internet world is turning over inventory. Let's take a look at this graphic. You have inventory turnover to find how it moves. And if you have more sales, your inventory goes down. And also you might be able to hold on to more inventory to cut expenses. I'll use an example. Where I live, there's a neighborhood Ralph's that my wife shops at, a Kroger store. And it used to be the store was 90%, usually the store is 50% store and 50% storage and back room and places where they brought in inventory and replenish the shelves on a weekly basis. That was true in the 80s and 90s. It was common for stores to measure turnover in months or weeks. I know when I went to business school, we evaluated turnover in the retail level, one being monthly was average. Now that same Ralph's store is 95% store and 5% a room, and they have deliveries all day long, every day. And they literally have computers. When you buy a can of tuna fish, corporate knows, and they're loading tuna fish on that night, and the next day, the can is right back there. That's when you go to a store like Ralph's. There's so many more varieties of the store to get you to sell product, and virtually no room in the back anymore for storage. It's all just-in-time inventory. Amazon brought that around as well. There's no reason to store things when you can just go online and have it delivered that day. I'll give you an example. When I was in business school, we learned turnover at retail in months. A store like Macy's or the old days, Bullock's, Bobbins, Bloomingdale's, would turn over, say, a woman's dress 12 times a year. There was a turnover of 1 month. My daughter works for a major department store, and they measure their turnover in weeks. Why? Because all business with technology, the internet, has gotten more efficient, and to cut costs, reduce inventory. How does all this apply to real estate and your business? Well, let me show you how. In the old days, we learned as realtors that a normal market was 6 to 7 months of inventory. Less than that was called a seller's market, 6 months. And more than that, 7 months or more, was a buyer's market. And we learned that in these markets, the prices for sellers, prices go up, and buyers' markets, prices go down. It's been a long time since we had inventory of 6 months. In fact, inventory consistently is below 3 months. So these charts you'll see are often rewritten with 3 months, less than 3 months, or 3 months, and then more than 3 months. But the truth is, think about it as a realtor. How long has a home been on the market where you know it's overpriced? Answer, 3 days or more. And once it goes into contract, the days on market stop. So really, the days on market measure how many days buyers look at it and don't buy the property. Well, we as realtors who are out writing contracts know anything more than 30 is overpriced. There's a general rule, any property on the market more than 30 days is at least 5% overpriced. It's a general rule, unless there's something going on with the property that's unusual. So maybe you could rewrite these columns at 3 months, less than 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and more than 4 months. But I would say no. Really, anything more than a month shows inefficiency in the marketplace. These rules were written back when I started in real estate. You would get a book delivered every other week and an update book every other week. So on the first Monday of the month, you get the new MLS book with all the new listings. And then the second week of the month, Monday, you get the update book with just the changes. And the third week, you get a new book. That's back when 6 months was normal. It would take about a month to even find property. You'd get to go to the book, you drive some properties, you go to Caravan, you would talk to your customer. Nowadays, realtors, customers, we find about houses, bing, the second they're on the market. We have sellers driving out properties day one, day two, multiple offers by the end of 7 days. So inventory, when you see statistics from CAR, NAR, and companies saying, oh, the inventory is driven low, just know there's a lot of fat in that. Now, I'm not saying inventory is not important. You would track the monthly inventory in each micro market that you work. And when that number goes back up, that does indicate the market softening. And that's in fact why I did this video. Because I do believe the inventories are going to be churning at some point. It could be right away. It could be when the interest rates go. It could be the end of the selling season, maybe March, maybe June. You have to watch the market and look for changes. But what I'm going to tell you is a normal market should be about a month. When you read tight markets or only a month and a half inventory, just know there's still plenty of fat there, and there's enough property for you as an agent to sell to a motivated buyer. And a buyer who's motivated will look at what's available and make those decisions. Now, you might take out properties that are on inventory that aren't real. Sometimes you have short sales. Those aren't really on the market. Sometimes you have properties that are under contract, but the agent doesn't update that. Again, that's an inefficiency. But if you want to look at the marketplace, don't be fooled that 3 months is normal. Really normal should be about a month and a half at most. But most importantly, take a look at trends to see if they're going with you or against you, depending on where you are. If I can help at all, Bill Gross. I'm with eXp Realty. I'm the LAProbateExpert.com, and my phone number is 310-210-0008. I hope you can use this information to help you and your clients be more successful.